So for my Fulbright Scholar, I worked in Columbia University in New York. I worked in the Department of Biomedical Engineering, and during my time there I was mainly looking at how mechanical forces influence what stem cells do. So stem cells are cells that can turn into different cell types and make different types of tissue, and we were looking at how these cells would change into these different cell types in response to different mechanical factors. So I heard about the Fulbright Award through my friend and colleague, Professor Fergal O'Brien. He had worked as a Fulbright at MIT, so he was very positive about the experience, and he encouraged me to apply for the award. So I had spent probably 3 or 4 years as a young academic in Trinity College, and I had just been awarded my first big grant. And as part of that, they encouraged me to go and work in a different institution. So that's when I decided to apply for the Fulbright. So I was given a 1-year sabbatical to take my Fulbright, and I was also supported by Science Foundation Ireland to go and take that sabbatical. I travelled to the US with my family, so my wife Catherine and 2 young children, Ben and Sive. I guess one of the things we were very worried about initially was how they'd cope with moving from a family house with a big back garden in suburbia to life in a small apartment in New York City. So I guess what really surprised me was how well they adapted and enjoyed the experience in New York. Central Park was their back garden. In terms of my own experience, obviously it was great working in another lab and working with different people and different ideas. And beyond that, I also got a chance to travel across the US and give invited lectures at different institutions, and that was great because it really helped me to I guess, promote my own work at different institutions in the US. During my time there, I gave talks at Notre Dame, at Michigan Tech, at Penn State, and also a number of different labs in New York City. I would recommend that you first of all spend some time researching different labs in the US related to your area. I think it's really important to have clearly identified what you want to get from your Fulbright and to find a lab that can facilitate that. In my case, I identified a lab in Columbia University that was working in my area, and they were very happy to host me once I sent them an email explaining that I was applying for the Fulbright program. My career has improved in a number of ways since coming back to Ireland. Firstly, there's the obvious benefits of working in a new lab, of being exposed to different ideas. There's also the CV benefit. I've had a number of grant reviewers who have looked at my grant application, have seen that I was working as a Fulbright scholar, and have commented on the benefit of that. There's also the obvious skill sets you learn in a new lab, and that you bring those back to your own lab on your return. Well, in my case, it's quite easy. I was living in New York City, and there's all the obvious benefits of living in New York City: the great cultural life, the plays, the shows, the nightlife, new restaurants, diverse food. And we obviously really enjoyed that, and the kids really enjoyed that as well. It's probably the only time in your career you're going to get to spend a long time in the US, and to go and visit not just your own institution and different labs there, but also to spend some time at different labs across the US and to give talks there and to meet new people.